YouTube, it's Alicia. This is going to be my Q&A video. I'm finally answering your guys' questions. I'm sorry it's been so long since that video asking for you guys to ask your questions, but it's just kind of hard to get time to sit down and do these videos with my toddler, who's very much a mama's boy, but my husband is home today, so I'm hoping he can distract him downstairs while I can do this. So let's just get started. And I'm going to be looking down at my computer. I'm sorry. It's just the best way for me. Okay, so first question. Do you feel different this pregnancy than you did with your son? Yes. Absolutely. It's been completely different. I was sick with Wyatt in the first trimester, but hardly. And I was only sick for maybe a week, but it wasn't anything that kept me in bed. It was just kind of an uneasy feeling in my stomach. I had no idea I was pregnant. So this time around, yeah, I was sick and pretty miserable. And as far as second trimester goes, I just feel better. This time around with Wyatt, I didn't feel cute. I didn't think I was a cute pregnant girl. I don't know why, but I just didn't feel pretty during my pregnancy. This one, I feel like my skin is better, my hair is better. I love my belly, and she moves so much more than Wyatt, and so yeah, it does feel a little different. I'm using my hands like, it does feel a lot different. Let's see, what would be one activity that is your time as mommies? It can sometimes be hard to find out our time. So when you get a few moments or an hour, do you like to do with it? You know, I really don't get a whole lot of mommy time. You know, it's funny, when I do, I usually like to go to thrift stores and just like get away from the house. So whether that means going grocery shopping by myself or, like I said, going to the thrift store. I love going to thrift stores and finding a bargain. That's really it. You know, to be honest, I love being with my boys. I love being with my husband and my son. So, I like my time, don't get me wrong, but I'm okay with being with them also. So, yeah. Or I'll go and, on a rare occasion, be able to go get my hair done when it needs done. So, let's see. When your hubby has to leave, what are some things you do to keep busy and keep your son busy? When he leaves, we usually go visit family a lot, which they are about 2-3 hours away from us, so it's a lot closer than it used to be. So we go and stay with them a lot, or we go on a lot of walks if the weather lets us. But yeah, so we just go visit my mom or my mom and dad or my in-laws, and so yeah, that's what we do. Okay, this one is, how did you and hubby meet? Like, tell the love story. Okay, I'm gonna make it short because I have the tendency to make this story long. Basically, back in high school when I was 17, a acquaintance of mine who, I mean, we were friends, but not very close. She called me up right when school ended and said, do you want to go camping in Idaho? And I said, sure, why not? I didn't know any, luckily my parents trusted me, but I didn't know anybody that was going. I knew of her and her friend, but like I said, they were more of acquaintance than friends. And, she is a wrestler, so she was bringing along her wrestling buddies. So I was quite uncomfortable at first because it was me, her friend, three girls, and then like 6 guys. So she was bringing her current boyfriend, and she told me that we were going to Idaho to pick up her cousin and her ex-boyfriend, which I thought to myself, that's strange that you're bringing your new boyfriend and your ex-boyfriend, but whatever. So we went on this trip, and it was around 4th of July, and I started talking to her ex-boyfriend, and I didn't plan it. I'm not the type of girl. I actually told myself, you can't do that, that's her ex-boyfriend. But she gave me the okay, I guess, and her friend gave me the okay, because they weren't very serious when they did date. So Zach and my friend dated once. It was quite a while before I met him, but yeah, we just started talking, and we were pretty much set up by the girls. I guess he had told the girls that he thought I was cute and he was interested, but don't make it obvious. It was really funny. We were young. He was turning 16 that trip. I know. I robbed the cradle quite a bit. So I'm a year and a half older than him. So anyways, they set us up, tricked us, got us to go on a walk together, and basically on that walk we found out we had tons in common, and I really started to fall for him hard. It scared me because I was a fan of guys. I didn't trust them. I hardly dated. And so anyways, on that walk we found out a lot about each other, and that we really started to like each other. And then he forgot my name and called me Ashley instead of Alicia, and somehow he managed to get a kiss out of it. So on that trip we fell hard for each other, and we decided to try to make it work long distance. And he lived in Idaho and I lived in Washington, and we dated for a year and a half long distance, and then I moved over to Idaho when I graduated, and we lived together for a summer, and he continued his senior year, and then we moved in together. So yeah, we were long distance for a while. I knew after we started talking that this was something big. Like I said, I fell for him, and fell for him fast and hard. So yeah, that's how we met. Okay, did you breastfeed Wyatt? Do you plan to breastfeed this next one? I did breastfeed Wyatt, but I wasn't strictly breastfeeding Wyatt. I supplemented with formula every once in a while, only because I didn't have a great milk supply. So yeah, I did breastfeed him. I do plan on breastfeeding this baby, and I hope to do it exclusively. It's kind of live and learn. I learned a lot with Wyatt, and I hope that I can correct those mistakes that I made and hopefully have a better supply this time. So yeah. What is the best and worst thing about being a military wife? The best thing. Well, I have a lot of pride in my husband, and I'm very proud of him, and I love saying that my husband is serving. And so that's one thing that I'm just very proud of him, and where he's worked so hard and come so far, and he really deserves a lot of appreciation. And like I said, he's come a long way, and he's working hard, and he deserves the best. So that, and then another best thing is, look at our house. Me and Zach were living a tough life before the military. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to struggle to get groceries. The military life, we don't struggle as hard. We always have food in our cupboards, and we get a beautiful house to stay in. Benefits, we have I feel security with our benefits and things like that. Well, the worst things, being away from the ones you love. We just went through our first deployment 6 months ago. I don't know. And that was tough. Like I said, me and Zach have been together for a long time, and we've been physically together 24/7 all the time type relationship, and then he had to go. So that was tough. And it was tough because he missed Wyatt, Wyatt missed him, and yeah. So just being away is hard. Seeing that sometimes they're not appreciated the way they should be, that's tough. Yeah, I think that's it. Do you find it easy as a stay-at-home mom to get out of the house during the week with Wyatt, or do you tend to hang around the house? We get out. We do spend majority of our time at home, only because, I mean, who can afford to get out and go do things all the time? But we do get out. We have a park right down the hill from us, so we go to the park, but we do hang out at home a lot, which is fine. We go out back and he slides and we play in the grass, and yeah, or we'll go down to the beach. Just right now with the weather, it's really hard. It's hit and miss. Today it's sunny and not windy, but most of the days it's rainy and windy and cold. So as soon as summer comes around, we are always out of the house. So what are some things you do to pass the day at home, i.e. playing, learning games, cartoons, things like that? Well, that's what we do. We play. I teach him, we play learning games, like teaching him colors, numbers, letters, things like that, shapes. And then he does watch cartoons, so I can get some laundry and dishes done. So you kind of answered your own question. Were you scared to share your journey from day one after miscarriage? I wasn't scared. I wouldn't say I was scared. I was just actually looking forward to talking to you guys, because you guys were my crutch. It really helped to talk it out, and I love you guys, and I consider you guys my friends. So first people you want to talk to after a tough situation is your friends. So I wasn't scared. I was anxious to get back out here and talk to you guys and share what I went through and maybe relate to some of you, or, yeah. How many kids do you plan to have? Well, let's see how 2 goes, but I can't imagine stopping at 2, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see how 2 goes, and then we'll see from there. Do you have any mother intuition on the gender of your baby? But we do know it's a girl. But before we knew it was a girl, I didn't. I had no idea what this baby was. I did find out when we were told it was girl that I guess the entire time I had been leaning, thinking it was a boy, because I was shocked when she said it's a girl. For some reason, I guess in the back of my mind, I thought it was a boy. So, yeah. What were you going to call Wyatt if he had been a girl? We really loved Emma, the name Emma. What was some other? That's really it. Like, I was pretty set on Emma. And do you have any names in mind for this baby? We do. Emma wasn't on my list anymore, and we do have a name picked out, and I will be sharing that name with you guys soon. I'm going to get together a little game for you and do a little riddle so you guys can guess. So I hope to do that sometime soon. We just settled on the middle name, so that's why. She said, hiya. Right, question time. My partner and I are planning on getting pregnant this year. Is there any advice you can give us to prepare for this? Many thanks for all your videos. Well, you're welcome. And hiya to you. Any advice? Yes. Enjoy your time together as just you and your partner. Don't make it a stressful time. Don't make it about, oh my gosh, we have to do the deed today because I'm ovulating tomorrow. Don't make it a chore. That's the last thing you want to do. Just focus on your love with your partner and being together and hopefully creating something. Because if you let it become a stressful thing, it's going to become harder and not fun anymore. You want it to be fun, right? So that's my advice. And to prepare, as far as like actual preparing, I suggest going, and don't spend a lot of money. I suggest getting your pregnancy and ovulation tests from the dollar store. That's my suggestion, because they're cheaper, and hopefully you won't be going through a lot, but if you do, and my other thing is get an account on fertilityfriend.com, I believe it is, Fertility Friend. That was really, really helpful for me on charting when I expect my period, when I expected to ovulate, when we did the deed, and things like that. So that's really helpful. Did you have any trouble getting pregnant with one or two? With one, no. Wyatt was actually not planned. He was kind of a, I don't want to say oops, a good oops. We weren't necessarily trying, but we were not preventing. So we were kind of gambling. But we were very, very excited when we found out we were pregnant. So, and number two, yes, we did struggle a little bit. If you guys don't know, when Wyatt turned a year, me and Zach actually started trying for 2 months, but were unsuccessful. I was still breastfeeding Wyatt, so my menstrual cycle was not normal by any means. So it didn't happen, and we only got 2 months because he deployed right after. And so we had a whole deployment where we obviously couldn't try anymore. As soon as he got home, we started trying in September. I found out I was pregnant in October, and then I miscarried 4 weeks later. And then right after that, I got pregnant again. So we did struggle a little, but I couldn't believe I got pregnant right after a miscarriage. I mean, it was the cycle right after I miscarried. So, did you have any spotting, like bleeding with either pregnancy? I didn't have any spotting or bleeding with Wyatt, and with this baby, I did have a little bit of spotting at the beginning, but it only was like literally, I wiped once and there was a little bit of blood, but I mean only enough to color, you know, and that was it. Anything you would suggest for us new mommies to be for any part of the pregnancy? Take it easy, relax, and try to enjoy your pregnancy. Don't wish for the end, because when it's over, you're gonna miss it, and it's over in a blink, and it goes so fast. And having a newborn it's wonderful, don't get me wrong, but it is hectic. And enjoy them while you can when they're in the belly. Just like I said, it's over in a blink. And just try to, for me, just try to document as much as you can about your pregnancy, because for me, I love looking back and trying to remember things, because it's hard to remember every step of your pregnancy. So, how did you and your hubby deal with your miscarriage? Well, it was quite hard, obviously. It was, I don't know if I can say it was harder on me than it was on him, because we obviously handle things differently. I didn't handle it well the first week. It was really not fun. I'm just so thankful that I have a husband that I can talk to, and he can talk to me. So communication was everything during that time. So we were very open and honest, and he's my best friend, so we just talked about it, and I shed some tears, and we dealt with it. I already answered this. Do you have any troubles getting pregnant? Not with Wyatt, and a little bit with this baby girl. My question is, how does your hubby's job affect his role in parenting? Well, it really hasn't affected it too much. He left when Wyatt was 14 months. So, it was a little hard adjustment when he got home. Only because Wyatt remembered him, but as far as like a discipline goes, like he didn't take Zach seriously. Like Zach would tell him no, and he's like, "Who are you to tell me?" So it was just hard to adjust Zach back into our lives, and it was also hard on me because I had been Wyatt's everything. Wyatt depended on me for food, for changing diapers, for everything. So it's hard for me to get Zach into the routine again, you know what I mean? So, but now, I mean, thankfully he doesn't leave as often as some. When he does leave now, it's only for, he left a few months ago for like 3 weeks, and that was tough because Wyatt now is a little older and remembered him and missed him terribly. But thankfully, we haven't gone through another deployment, so. Are you going to get another crib, or will your son move into a toddler bed? Well, Wyatt co-sleeps with us, and so this was Wyatt's crib. And right now, Wyatt has, just as a temporary thing, he doesn't stay in his room, but if he's ever in his room when he naps or whatever, sometimes he naps in there, he has a futon, and that's only temporary. We only got it because we are going to maybe, we don't know yet, we might be transitioning him out of our room into his bedroom, but we're just kind of playing it by ear. There's no big plans in the future, but he has, we're going to give him Zach's twin bed that's in storage in Idaho. As soon as we get it out of storage, it'll be Wyatt's bed, and then, yeah, so he does have a bed. He takes naps in it, but as far as sleeping in it, he doesn't. He never slept in this crib. Maybe for naps, but this is going to be her crib. Are you planning on having more kids in the future? Like I said, we're going to see how 2 goes, but for me, I just can't imagine stopping at 2, so we'll see. What made you vlog about your pregnancy? Well, I have a terrible memory. Like, I don't know. I seriously have the worst memory ever. And I just wanted to remember my pregnancy, and I wanted Wyatt to have something to look back on. And my third reason was, I have 4 reasons. My third reason was we were living in California at the time, away from our family, and I was going through this pregnancy without my family. So I did these vlogs for them to look for, to see how I was dealing with it, what other things I was going through, and see what my belly looked like at this point and that point. My other reason is for the community of it. I just love being able to talk to other girls that are experiencing the same thing, and I really turn to pregnancy vlogs for advice and tips and just to see what they're experiencing, and I hope that girls can do that with mine too. And yeah, I just wanted to give it from my perspective because I love watching other women, so that's why. And let me see, is that it? I thought there was another page. What were some of your jobs before Wyatt and being a stay-at-home mom? Well, a lot of my jobs, I started working right when I was like 17. I worked at a nursery. I was a hostess at a Mexican restaurant. I landscaped and chopped wood for my friend's dad. I cleaned. I even was a waitress at an Italian restaurant and a housekeeper at a Motel 6 for at the same time. I had 2 jobs when I moved to Idaho to support myself. Then I worked at Starbucks and became a barista. And then I worked at a small coffee stand and really loved that. Not a coffee stand, at a coffee shop. I was a barista there, and it was really fun. I loved that place. We served, like, obviously coffee and espresso, but we got to do espresso art and make paninis and do wine and music night where we served wine. It was a really cool place. I made pretty good money there because the tips were really good. So I was a barista for a while, and then when we moved to California, I ran a coffee shop in the hospital there, and from there I got a job as they called it a customer representative. I worked at the front desk at the urgent care clinic in the Naval Hospital, and that's where I worked when I was pregnant with Wyatt. And then